very few rules around here. The one is that when you end a walk-off June practice like that, I got to ask you about it. What did you see on that play?
I think I seen zero. Safety was kind of playing flat-footed, so all I know was just try to run by him, and after that, Jordan made a good throw and trying to catch the ball and make the play.
You've had bigger touchdowns. To put it mildly, but how meaningful is it when you are with a new team, you're breaking into a new offense, obviously you had the score yesterday, the one-hander, to be putting these plays together early on?
Just trying to get better every day. Trying to build chemistry throughout the team. No matter who matter at quarterback. Just want to make plays, learn the offense, and try to get better every day and try to just put good things on film.
So which play do you like better, when you snag one-handed in the end zone in a crowd of people, or when QB1 drops one over your shoulder?
I think I like the deep ball better, man. It's just something about just catching a long pass and scoring. The one-hander was nice too, but I like the deep ball.
What was it about the Packers that appealed to you when you were making your decision?
I think the organization as a whole. Coach LaFleur, I like what he does. I like his his style, and obviously Jordan Love is a great quarterback, and I think the receiving room was great. I think it's just a lot of green flags when it came to just looking at the Packers, no pun intended. So it was just one of those things that I feel like had a great opportunity for me.
So along those lines, though, but when you signed here, they needed receivers, and they go draft a couple. What are your thoughts during the draft when they add a couple guys to your room?
Oh man, I'm all for it. I think it brings different elements to the room, bring competition to the room. So I've been in the league 7 years, so I ain't never been the type to shy away from competition. I've been in stacked rooms before, and so just the competition makes everything great, and and our job as receivers, all together is to make it hard for the coaches, make it hard on them to, make a decision. But all in all, I love the competition that it brings.
You mentioned your skill set and your experience. How do you land one of those roster spots in a competitive room?
Just put good things on film and be true to yourself and do what you do. Don't try to be Superman or try to do extra things. Just come in, learn, be willing to learn, be willing to be coachable, and just make plays and and just try to solidify yourself as to get a spot for real. So
you count other guys, what they're doing?
Nah, you focus on yourself. At the end of the day, we are brothers, and we all we want everybody to do well. So just go in there and, like I said, just do what you have to do your job, and everything else take care of itself.
You mentioned Jordan briefly, but what has impressed you even more so, just being able to work with him and just kind of building that relationship?
Oh yeah, Jordan, he's an awesome guy, on and off the field. I think he's one of those guys that's going to be one of the best quarterbacks in the league for time to come. I think he showed that with his work ethic. He's willing to work. He's willing to get better. So just be out there and see him make some of the throws he make, and his control of the offense. And I think he get better every day. And as players, we learn different things. And I think that he's taking that next step. Just from outside looking in and not actually being on the same team with him. I think he's taking that role of being that leader and leading this team to the best of his ability.
Also returned kicks quite a bit. When the Packers were looking at you today, indicate that was something they wanted to see from you as well. Maybe give you opportunity on special teams as well.
Yeah, that's definitely always part of my game. I think returning is a unique skill. I've been lucky enough to be able to return in some of the biggest stages and some of the biggest games. So I think when it comes to that, I love that part of it, and I'm open to everything. Kickoff return, punt return. If that's something that that they would love me to be a part of, I'd love to be a part of as well. And I'm coming here with that mindset of trying to actually do that on special teams, as well as trying to carve out a role in the receiving room as well. So the more you can do, the better, right? So that's kind of what my mindset is, and I'm trying to do everything they need out of me. So
what makes for a good return man?
I think a good return man comes with fear. Can't fear nothing for sure, especially a punt return. Being able to have vision to find certain holes and have the awareness of when to either catch the ball, kick return. Have the awareness of knowing like the cutback or when to stay front side. So I think a lot of factors go into it. But overall, man, just being back there and not being scared and just hit the hole and go make a play.
What do you think whole new kickoff return setup and how it works?
You know, they had it to where, you know, we get the ball to the 30. Team said, you know what, we'll do that, kick touchbacks. Now you send to the 35, and you know our team's gonna be like again, like, well, we'll take that too. So you never know how it goes. Me personally, I came in with the old kickoff rules, so I kind of like the old kickoff a little bit better. Kind of give you more room as a returner. I think it's a lot of it's cluttered a lot on the new one, but you know I think it does, you know, it decrease the collisions. But so yeah, you know, whatever they feel like is best, I'm with it.
Mecole, I don't imagine you're flashing your 3 rings around here, but how do you think your experience in those big games can maybe help some of the younger guys in this building?
Oh yeah, I ain't gonna lie. I didn't know I was gonna be the oldest in the receiver room. I'm getting old, man. Year 7 is getting crazy. But I think just being able to get there and the work that was put in to get there. I think just being able to relay that to the guys, and you know, especially when times get hard, or you know, you're not feeling so well, or you know, you're hurting or whatever. You know, just kind of being able to have that experience to let them know, like, hey, you know, it's this part of it. This where, you know, things happen. This where you know, you build that, and you know, this is gonna get better in the long run. And if it's hard now, it's easier, you know, later on. So just be able to, you know, have that experience and actually have gotten to the end game and having to win it. You know, I think that goes a long way, especially for the younger guys to see that. And I'm glad I can, you know, give that experience to them and let them know like what it took and, you know, what it's going to take.
Year 7, and you've talked about biggest stages. You've had that as a receiver too. What do you feel like at this point you can give an offense? The return game is always going to be part of you, right? But from a receiver offense standpoint, what do you think you bring there?
I think versatility. I can play all 3 positions. You know, X, Z, F slot. You know, I think just from that standpoint, I can do a lot. I bring the speed to the offense as well, whether it's the gadget plays or, you need the deep balls down the field. And I think I got, you know, the string game, yak. I think I do bring it into my game. I've showed that over the years that, you know, once you get the ball in my hands, I can make things happen. So just on my end, I just try to get better at the little things, you know, the route running, the releases, the catching in the traffic and stuff like that. And I think this offense, you know, it grooms you to be able to be better at those type of things. And and with the offense, there's so many things that they can, you know, involve me in and to get the ball in my hands. So so I think I bring a lot when it comes offensively. So but that just comes with, you know, getting the playbook down, and you know, the more I can get familiar with the playbook, the more that, you know, I can do things on offense.
How motivated are you to show that you can do that? You're not just a return guy, right? You've done this on the biggest stage as a receiver. That is still a part of your game.
Yeah, I think it's kind of get lost in there, but I'm definitely motivated to, you know, show a different side of things and playing, you know, certain amount of plays as a receiver and making those contested catches, or, you know, those different kind of routes that I haven't been running in the past. So I'm definitely motivated, but at the end of the day, it's like, you know, just being, you know, doing your role the best you can, you know. So whatever role that is, and I'm trying to do it the best of my ability. So.
What's your first impression of Rich Bisaccia? Did you have any contact with him before you got to Green Bay?
No, I didn't actually. We kind of you know talked when I took my visit to Green Bay, and when I met him, man, you know, great guy, and then now just being on the field with him and the coaching, you could tell that he's very passionate about what he does, and I love a coach like that. So what he put in place, I think I got great respect for him, because in the past he's had great special team units. So just being coached by him is great, and he's one of those, you know, those old school coaches. He's gonna let you know what it is. He gonna let you know if you're messing up, if you're doing right, if you're doing good. So I think you need that on the staff, and he don't matter who you are, he's gonna let you know. So just being out there with him, man, and being coached by him, you know, it's an honor for real.
Mecole, having won 3 Super Bowls, what have you learned about what it takes for a team to get that done?
I'm sorry, say it one more time.
Having won 3 Super Bowls now, like, what have you learned about what it takes for a team to get that done?
I think it takes everyone. You know, I think it's just not, you know, you can have the most talented roster, or you can have the best coaching staff. I think it doesn't happen until everybody come together as one. And that's on and off the field. You know, I think those teams that win it, you can tell that they have chemistry on the field, off the field. It's a collective group. You know what I mean? And I think once you get the egos out and everybody come together as one, as a team, and nobody is greater than a team, I think that's when the things start to click and start coming together. And I think once you learn how to get through adversity as a team, I think stuff starts to come together. And I think all the great teams go through adversity. I think the teams that handle adversity the best usually are the teams that comes out on top. So I think that's what I learned, throughout the years. And I think, once you get that in place, everything else kind of take care of itself.
When the time is right, you say those words like in the receivers room, or when you get together with the guys, after practice or anything like that. Just talk about that experience.
It's usually when just kind of, I guess it just be with the guys, also with the receiver rooms too, because it can get to some things where you're talking about certain things, and it's just like you can bring it up like, look, this is the time that we got to come together and we got to push through this, and if we can get through this, we can get through other things, because it starts right now. Then in a training camp, that's when it's the hardest. And when you get to the season, I think it become easier. You know what I mean? So.
You had a lot of production to start your career, then things happen. Is this a place where you can get back to that production and remind everybody who you can be, or does that not matter and you just want to go get another ring?
No, I think I definitely was productive first 3 years, and then ended up getting hurt, and I'm just trying to come back and get back right to where I was, and I think this is the place I can actually get back to be productive. But then again, it's still to be shown. You still got to make the team. You still got to find out a role and get that role. So, but all in all, man, the end goal is to win the championship, and as me, I'm just type of guy is like, whatever you need me to do, I'm gonna do, and whatever I need to do to help out, I'm gonna help out where it's needed to be. So
I know this isn't the first time that you've been with another team, but so much of your career has been in one spot
right.
at this point. What is this like to break into a new offense, break in with a new guy?
Oh, I love it. I'm open. I'm like the new opportunity. I think it's one of those like fresh starts. I had one before. Obviously, it didn't go as as it planned. But I think this right is the first start, man. New city, new environment. So just being able to be a part of that, and the Packers just welcome me with open arms and giving me the opportunity to go out there and showcase my skills and give me the opportunity to play football. I'm more than grateful because it's not all promise. It can be taken away any day. So just the opportunity to have is is good enough for me, and I just gotta go out there and take advantage of it.
You've played with Mahomes, obviously maybe the greatest quarterback of all time.
Yeah.
What does it take to be a great quarterback? What makes a great quarterback? Obviously, throwing the ball is great, but is there something else?
Yeah, I think it's the. I think it's just the will, the heart, and the ability to go win games. I think it goes more into just being a great passer. There's been a lot of people that can just pass the ball and haven't won nothing, but I think it's just the leadership ability, be able to lead a team, to be able to have that dog, that fire in you, to actually have to go out there and win. And I think once you have that, and your team can look at you and look up to you, knowing that when the game is tied, or you're down 3 going into the 4th, or it's 2 minutes left, and we know you're gonna make a play. I think that's when those type of quarterbacks start to separate themselves from the rest. So
being one of the more veteran guys in the league, but newer to the room, why was it important for you to reach out to both the draft picks when they got drafted? Because they said that you reached out to both of them.
Right. Yeah.
So why was that important for you?
I think it's important because for anybody to get drafted, it's a special moment. And not to try to take away from that moment, but just to hit them up like, man, just congratulations on getting drafted. You part of like the 1% or 2% of getting drafted, and just congratulating them, man, and telling them to come in to work, and just try to give them some advice before they get here, because same thing happened to me when I got drafted. Pat called me. I'm like, dang, Pat called me. Tyreek text me. Travis Kelce called you and stuff like that, and just being able to get that call from certain guys is it makes you happy, and makes you motivated to work a little bit. So I just want to give them a little motivation and give them a little advice before they get here, and just keep it at that.